Good morning. Now, I thought it was about time I gave my thoughts on the Nemo Tensor insulated pad. I did a video on insulation the other day, doing it on the cheap. That went down quite well. If you haven't seen it, I'll stick the link up here. And I was saying about how I used to do it when I couldn't afford a good mat. Well, now I've got this, and I've been using this for approximately a year, all seasons, and it's about time I gave you my thoughts. Here's the heads up, they're mainly good. Now, the reason that I've left this review, or my opinion at least, for almost a year is because of the price. Now, a decent insulated sleep mat is not a cheap piece of equipment. I couldn't afford one for an awful long time. So before I sort of recommended something and people went out and were disappointed or whatever, I wanted to thoroughly test this, which I have now. Multiple camps over all sorts of weather conditions, summer and winter. So it's not going to be an in-depth review as such. Plenty of people have reviewed them before. You can find all the specs online and this sort of thing. This is just my personal opinion and my thoughts after using one quite a bit. Pack size, pretty good. It's not very big at all. It's about the size of a litre bottle of drink, that sort of size. About 500 grams in weight, so it's not heavy. We'll open up the old stuff sack here, and we'll come almost immediately to my only negative. Well, the only one I've found so far. This bright yellowy thing on the outside. It's the pump sack. Now, I totally get the concept of pump sacks. It's meant to be a quick and easy way to blow your mat up. And of course, it's just a big bag. You capture the air, roll it down, forces into the mat. Simple. Now this one, it's like the shape of a bottle. As you can see, clips onto the mat at the bottom there. So the air comes in here. Now, you can't capture air like you would with a bag normally. And even on their instructions, what you have to do is open this up and basically blow the bag up and then roll it down. So what's the point in that? If you're going to blow it up, you might as well just blow the mat up. And the other thing I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, half the thinking of a pump sack was to avoid the moisture from your breath being inside the inside the mat, making it, mouldy and manky over a length of time. Keep the moisture out. Well, if I'm blowing into this and then forcing that into the mat, what have you achieved? Which is why I'll use my little flex tail pump. It's quicker and it's easier. So that really is my only negative point on the sleep mat. It's a little container here, got a repair kit with it. It's got decent Velcro type strap for packing it up. All of that is well thought out, but the pump sack, I don't know. I don't get their thinking in that design. There we go, less than 60 seconds. Flex tail's blown it up, job done. Now, this one, this is the regular length, but wide rather than standard. Regular length for me at 6 foot tall is absolutely fine. The reason I went for the wide, now a standard of just about any sleep pad, they're normally 20 odd inches, and that's fine if you sleep on your back and don't move about much. I'm a side sleeper, so the 20, if you're dead straight, that's fine. But I tend to sleep sort of with the knees up, feet up a little bit like this. On a standard pad, it's not wide enough. If I've still got my hips on the pad, my knees end up off of it. This being the wide version, that doesn't happen. Many a time on a narrower pad, I've woken up in the night because my knees are cold. It's because my knees were off the mat and sort of touching the floor. So I went for the wide version. There's not a lot of difference in price. There's hardly anything in pack size or weight difference. You might as well go for the wide. Just my opinion. The insulation, I believe it's about 4 or 4.2 on the R rating. You'll have to double check that. So it's not a massive high R rating full-on winter pad as such. I'm on the south coast. It's pretty mild. I don't need that much. This is perfectly adequate. I've been down to, you know, sort of just about sub-zero with it, and it's fine. It's rare we get below about -3. For them sort of conditions, this is okay. If you're somewhere where you're actually camping in the snow and that sort of thing, yes, a higher R rating is the way to go. But for me, this is fine all year round. I think they market it as 3 season. The most noticeable thing I've found with this, compared with some of the other high-end insulated pads, not that I've owned them, but I've camped with people that have them, is also the sound. Now, a friend of mine, Marky, he's got the Thermarest with the very high R rating. I think it's like nearly 7 or something like that, and it's undoubtedly comfortable and it's warm. But it's like sleeping on a crisp packet. When we're camping, I always think on average our tents are 20 to 30 feet apart, something like that. And when we go to bed, from inside my tent, I can actually hear him shuffling about and settling down. His sleep mat is so noisy. If that sort of thing doesn't bother you, fine. Personally, it would drive me nuts. This one makes hardly any noise. If I move about a bit, I think you probably hear my jacket more than the pad. There's none of that crackling and creaking and whatever. It's pretty quiet, which is perfect for me. I do tend to move about quite a bit in the night, so I don't want a lot of noise keeping me awake. This I find works really, really well. I've never been cold on it. I've never been uncomfortable on it. It seems to work just as it's advertised. What can I say? It is the only, and I mean the only, high-end decent sleep mat that I've got, so I can't go comparing against a lot of others. All I can tell you, after multiple camps with this, it's never let me down. I've never been uncomfortable, and I've never been cold. I suppose that's all you need, isn't it, really? So yes, they're not cheap, but they are worth it. Well, that was my quick personal thoughts on the Nemo Tensor. I'm very happy with it. But now, I'm going to pack him up and get out of here. We got a storm coming and it's starting to go grey already. I don't want to be out here when it hits. The joys of living right on the coast on an island. Never mind. So no camping this weekend, sadly. I just don't fancy it, to be honest. Yes, I've got the gear for bad weather, but what's the point if you're not really enjoying it? 18 hours of hiding in a tent isn't really my idea of fun. So I'm going to pack up and get out of here. Thanks for watching.